3FM met Lady Gaga. Het is de late avondshow van 3FM. Je luistert naar 3 voor 12 radio. En normaal gesproken dan zit ik niet in deze studio. Maar vandaag ben ik gewoon even lekker op dit plekje gaan zitten. Want dat heeft te maken met iemand die hier tegenover me zit. Want de 3FM Livebox klinkt vanavond als een zomerse middag in California in Amerika, de jaren 60. Ja, en dat is bijzonder, want er zit een Brit hier tegenover me. En niet de minste, het is Jjerome87, a.k.a. Joe Newman. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here because you toured around the world and now you're here on a Wednesday night in Hilversum at 3FM.
I know, it's what an experience. It's a privilege to be here.
And today almost went wrong because you lost something, I heard.
Yeah, I lost my passport.
No way!
Yeah, well, I didn't even know I lost my passport. We got a call, my manager got a call to say that they'd found my passport on the plane. And I took my jacket off and then flipped my jacket over the seat and it must have just slipped out and quietly left itself under the seat of the plane. Yeah.
But you're about to pick it up in a few hours, right?
I'm about to pick it up. And we're going to the military police. So it's real, real life. Yeah.
Maybe this is inspiration for a whole new album or a song.
Exactly, or a new career. You know.
You start working at the police, yeah?
Yeah, I'd love, maybe. Learn a bit of Dutch.
Dat klinkt als goed nieuws.
Yeah.
That's very good news. Mm-hmm. You're back at the studio with new music. You'll play more songs in a bit. But it's interesting that becoming a dad changed your songwriting and how your song, it didn't fit really alt-J, right?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of inescapable, the writing that I do with alt-J and taking that to a solo project. You know, I'm the chief writer for alt-J and so I kind of have an approach to writing that's kind of quite cowboy-esque and like cheeky, should we say?
Yeah.
And so lyrically, it's always going to be a bit peculiar. But in terms of like what I was writing about, the context of what I was writing about, it was a lot more personal. It was about my experiences being a father and the birth of my daughter. And I just felt like it wouldn't be fair to the band, who are fathers also, to be singing just about my child throughout a large part of the album. So I thought I'm going to take this one for the team and just do a bit of solo work.
But you were writing the songs not knowing what would happen with these songs. Was it always the intention to make a record?
You know what? I think I always think in albums. So, you know, when I'm writing an album, when I come to the end of that process, I'm immediately thinking about the next project.
Wow.
You know, and I think, you know, the process of writing, you know, is an investment to write the next project. So I am only thinking like one album ahead at a time. And so I have this very focused process. Yeah.
That's good, I think, for your mental health as well. To think about just one album.
Yeah, I think so. I love it. I love what I do. I love writing. I love being afforded that luxury to just write. It's not lost on me how privileged that is, and so I want to honor that by doing the best work I can, so that when I release something new, I am confident that it will be liked by people that have already liked my work prior. So yeah.
But the interesting thing is that you were away for a while for the outside world, and I think I Googled you every once in 3 months or so. So how was it for you, the time off, in a way, outside of the spotlight?
I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, you know what? I'm never really in the spotlight. I think we've got a wonderful balance as a band where very rarely are we recognized. Very rarely do people come up to us, which isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but it just means that you can look back on that and be, you know, I suppose, appreciative that you still have your anonymity.
Yep.
So, like, when I'm not working and when I'm working, it's kind of a similar setting.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, unless like I'm really close to a venue, obviously, then
of course,
you know, which is, I like that. It's a novelty.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I love just sitting down and playing my guitar. So when I'm not working, I'm also working. So.
It's your job, it's your life, making music.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny that your stage name now is Jjerome87. It's an old email handle, right?
Yeah, it's email handle. It's my Instagram handle. It's like, yeah, I thought, why not? I mean, like, Joe Newman, it's like...
But are there too much Joe Newmans in the world
Well,
that the
no.
Gmail was claimed?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's quite a forgettable name. And, I think with an artist name, that's a chance to lean into something a little more spicy, shall we say. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, it's not the Carolina Reaper of names, Jjerome87, but it certainly has something. I think adding a number to a name is always fun. And when people remember it, eventually, they'll remember it forever.
You've been to LA to make this record. In the full sun, in the American desert. Did LA change you in a way?
Fundamentally, no. But I think I appreciated LA more than I had done before.
Really?
Yeah. I had quite a skewed experience of LA in the kind of early years of visiting there. And then we got more comfortable and we started staying at one particular hotel in West Hollywood. And so the only part of LA I really understood was like Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is bizarre. It's like this skewed kind of like antique kitsch, but then, luxurious place that's peppered with like extreme poverty and homelessness.
Yeah,
And I was
it's
like,
crazy.
I couldn't figure out why people flock to LA. And then actually I started visiting the wider area and spending more time in East LA. And actually then I was like, oh no, this place is amazing. The communities are amazing. The food is phenomenal. I stayed with some amazing people, and Carlos De La Garza, my producer, was just a joy to work with, and I made friends with his family. His daughters are in a band called the Linda Lindas. You should check them out.
Really good. Yeah.
And they're just a lovely family, so welcoming, and I think I just felt more at home in Los Angeles than I had ever done before.
Well, you go back there.
Yeah.
Could you live there in the city for maybe a year or two, or is that too much?
No, I think it's possible. I certainly think I wouldn't be against that idea. No, of course. Yeah. I think it's a fun place to stay, and it's a blue state, and there's people fighting the good fight, and like I enjoy it there. Yeah.
The interesting thing about this new record is that it will be released on June 26th, but I listened to it back in December because you released it on your own website.
Yes.
Was that because you wanted to put the music out? What was the idea? Because it was on your own website without the label, I think, back then?
Yeah.
Or
I think I just wanted to test the waters. I wanted to give something I wanted to give a heads up to the sort of the fans first and foremost, and just say, listen, I know you're probably waiting on Alt J stuff, but like I've been doing this. If you like Alt J stuff, then I think you'll like this. Like, here it is. Like, tell me what you think. And like, I think people that respect music appreciate that, people work so hard to create it. So like, I was like, this is how much it costs. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, you can wait down the line. And
wow.
But like, it was nice. It was nice. I think I really enjoy. I wanted to just see what it was like to do things on my own, like old school. Like, when back in, there was a time where, records were like scarce. And so you'd go to a record shop and see if you could find your favorite record. And if they didn't have it, it wasn't like your journey was over. You would just look in the next record store.
Go on to the next one, yeah.
I kind of hope that there would be a small kind of build of word of mouth, and that people would slowly kind of like congregate at the website. But I think ultimately I want as many people to hear it as possible. And I think, you have to rely, rightly or wrongly, on these modern day institutions such as like the streaming sites. And they kind of hold the key at this moment in time. So,
but I like the idea because I listened to the album, and before anyone else heard it, we heard a glimpse of your new stuff. So I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. I'm glad that I did it. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, and I had an amazing team working with me on it, and they They pulled out all the stops, and it's kind of not easy to do that in this modern age because everyone's so used to doing traditional rollouts.
That's it. Yeah.
It took a bit of convincing, but I had an amazing team that were there behind me, working really hard. So